Now we're talking about a Minnesota win over Illinois. Zach, I picked Minnesota. You picked Minnesota too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we picked Minnesota. There were some Illinois fans that want to talk about how Brett Bielema's never lost to PJ Fleck, and I think there's some stuff to that every now and then, but this was one in particular that I felt like things were different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota has Max Brosmer. Minnesota has Darius Taylor. I felt like this was a good opportunity for Minnesota to kind of keep right in the hot hand and get another win here. And this team had not given up. They were counted out early on in the season against North Carolina, losing that one. But now they're coming back. They're roaring back. Should be in the top 25, but they didn't receive a single vote
Don't
this last time. That's so
don't get me
stupid.
started.
The coaches poll voted him 14 times to get in the top 25, but yeah. Anyway, but Minnesota comes out with the win here against a team in Illinois. I still think is a good team. I don't think
Yeah.
this is a reflection on a bad Illinois team. It was a home game for Illinois, right? It was a home game
Mm-hmm.
for Illinois.
Yep.
But I think this is a good Illinois team, and I think this Minnesota team just really believes they're really rocking and what they're doing right now. It's really impressive.
Yeah. This was not. I didn't think this was a case of a bad team on either side. I thought these are two. Honestly, these are two top 25 teams playing each
Yeah.
other. Like that was my takeaway from the game, and like I thought Illinois counterpunched when they got hit in the mouth. Like Josh McCray with that great run in the second quarter. Um, just had an awesome touchdown run. I thought,
Can we talk about
Minnesota.
that for a second, though? Minnesota with the missed tackles. Josh McCray, not a fast dude.
Well, yeah,
I'm
but
not trying to. I'm
he
not
got a,
trying to disparage the player, but man, that was not breakaway speed. That was, you were glad the touchdown, the end zone was as close as it was because Josh McCray, tough dude, but yeah, not the best breakaway
it's
speed.
just it's not his forte, right?
But he
Not his
got there,
forte.
so we'll give
He
him his
got
credit.
there,
Anyway, I
and
just
like, well,
wanted to
and you know
laugh
what
about it for a
is
second.
you know what is his forte though? Breaking tackles.
Yep, and that's what he did.
Yeah, and he did that. So,
Yeah,
you don't need to be that fast for, if you're able to break tackles, but
there you go.
you could be Saquon Barkley who just pirouettes and jumps over a dude backwards, Go
That's
what?
not Josh McCray. That's not
No,
Josh
it's not
McCray.
Josh McCray. Go watch that, by the way. Just type in Saquon ridiculousness and
I
you'll
saw that. That was crazy that he did that. Anyway, go ahead.
anyway. Yeah, but I thought it was two really good teams. I think, you know, Brosmer played well. Um I I'll say the one thing that frustrated the heck out of me, and I think it was number 10 for Illinois, got disqualified because of a targeting penalty. And I just wanted to just take the official and be like, this is stupid.
Yeah,
Like like this rule needs to be changed. I
yeah.
am so sick of people getting tossed for things that are just like not actually targeting. And it just drives me up a wall. It's like the point of this rule is for player safety, but we also have to acknowledge we play the game of football. It's
Right.
it's unsafe by nature. When people
I think it
shift
makes
into it,
sense. It makes sense to throw them out of the game if it is clear that they are trying to hurt the other player. Like there was a play I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago where the quarterback was running forward and threw the ball, and the linebacker just like catapulted himself up under the dude's helmet and hit him. Like that's obvious. Like he was
yeah,
trying to hurt the quarterback on that play. If he's just going in for a hit and it's just incidental contact, like I get why they started doing that at the beginning. They wanted the game to change. The game has changed now, though. People are not headhunting and hitting tackles the same exact way that they were at the beginning. It makes no sense to
it,
be to be throwing these players out and then making them spend time out in the next game as well if it's in the second half.
yeah,
It doesn't make any sense.
it's dumb. It's so dumb, and I yeah. But outside of that, I thought it was a game. I thought it was a game that Illinois had a chance to tie up in the last couple minutes, and Ja Joyner gets the sack fumble. I mean, I think Minnesota's their playmakers are playing, And you see it with Coy Parrish, you see it with Justin Wally, you see it with Darius Taylor, Daniel Jackson, Max Brosmer, Ja Joyner. They have dudes on that team.
They
And
do.
I think that's the thing that impresses me. Someone mentioned earlier, that Penn State game coming up, Penn State better watch out because I think Minnesota might take that one in Minneapolis.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me is it's at Minneapolis. I mean, you took USC down to the wire in that game, and USC is not a good enough team for that to be considered some, great national win or anything like that. But that was really the game that I felt like gave Minnesota their confidence to do what they should have done. And could you imagine if Minnesota hadn't lost that game to Michigan, if they didn't have that bogus offsides call on the onside kick? Like, could you imagine where this Minnesota team would be right now? They'd be top 20. They would be top
Yeah.
20 in the nation right now. They'd have that win over Michigan. They'd have that win over USC, just catapult them early, to where they are in the season. And the perception around Illinois' loss here changes as well. Right now, Illinois isn't getting a single vote into the top 25, which is outrageous. That is just completely stupid. They're not getting a single vote. You lost to a good Minnesota team, but of course, because everybody views the SEC as every single, loss there is like, oh, it's okay. But in the Big Ten, it's like, oh no, Minnesota sucks. No, they don't suck. They're a good team, and so is Illinois. Like both these teams still deserve votes to be in the top 25.
Did either of these teams lose to Georgia State?
No.
Yeah. Why is Vandy ranked in the top 25? Get them out.
Yeah. It's true.
Georgia State stinks, and so does Vanderbilt. Put Minnesota and Illinois in. And how dare you have the audacity to give Washington votes over Illinois and Minnesota? It's outrageous. I am legitimately angry about this. Like, this is just frustrating.
We will
Voters
have time.
Are stupid.
We will have time Tuesday to react to the college football playoffs. That is my only hope right now. Is hopefully the college football playoffs has Minnesota in the top 25 as they should be. But maybe I'm putting too much hope in a playoff committee.
I'd have no hope.
Yeah,
they're gonna have like I tweeted out earlier. Vandy is ranked in the AP poll to justify Alabama getting into the top 12 of the playoff. And I know people will say the polls aren't related, but the CFP takes note of everything. And they will note that Vandy is seen as a top 25 team, but by people who write for newspapers that don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Alabama writers and all those kinds of ones. It's crazy how the Alabama writers are the ones ranking Vanderbilt and teams like that the highest. Wonder why. This is an interesting thought from Doug. He says teams like Minnesota will be the reason why playoffs will get expanded again. I do think they'll get expanded again. I don't know if it'll be for teams like Minnesota, but it's possible. Do you have any thoughts on that, Zach?
I don't know. I think it really depends how the product is viewed after the next couple years.
Yeah. It's going to depend. I mean, they're going to be expanded to 16. I think that's all but almost for sure now at this point, but we'll see. We'll see. Dave made a comment I wanted to get back to really fast. Dave's analysis was the total balance on offense by the Gophers. Great defense, played special teams pretty well, minus the fake punt. What'd you think of the fake punt, Zach?
So I'll be honest, I actually missed that one. I missed that play. So I have no thoughts on it.
Yeah. It was an interesting one. I mean, I get, he had space, he was open, he went for it. Just sometimes your eyes get a little too big, I guess. But I mean, I don't hate it. I like trying fake punts and stuff. It makes the game more exciting, especially in a game like this where both teams are trying to do anything they can to gain an inch. I mean, obviously, you look at it. It doesn't look like the best call because of the way it worked out, but still, like, I don't know. I like that part of college football exists still. It's not all so professionalized that we still have fake punts and stuff like that. I like that. Last thing on this, Zach, and then we'll move on. This game felt like the Illinois Penn State game to me, where it was neck and neck, battling with each other. You saw so much, and then late game, Luke Altmaier, the fumble that gives the team a good chance there to win the game, and that's how it turns out. Were you kind of getting the same vibes there, Luke Altmaier fumble at the end of the game type stuff?
No, I mean, I see where you're coming from. I did feel like Minnesota and Illinois was a bit more even. I thought I think in the score, at least score-wise, I thought Penn State and Illinois was even, but I thought I came away thinking Penn State was easily the better team. I thought Illinois fought,
Yeah.
but I thought Penn State I thought Minnesota and Illinois were a bit more even.
Yeah, I can see that. I think yeah. At the end of the day, Minnesota made the plays that they needed to do
Yeah.
to win the game, and credit to Minnesota. It was a really good game. Both teams played really well, and that that's how it goes sometimes.